Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are setting up the month of June in my reading journal, and I cannot believe we are already at the 6th month of filling in this journal. This year has gone by really fast. I cannot believe that we're already at the midway part, but I'm very excited to share this theme with you all. If you've been around as a long time follower, then you would already know this, but June is my birthday month. It's also my mum's birthday month, so it's always felt like a really special time of the year for us, and I am always a little bit precious with myself about setting up my journal for the month of June. Last year did not go well. I went to my favorite destination in the theme of last year, but I don't think I did a very good job at setting it out. So this year I really wanted to improve on that, and I think I did a pretty good job with this theme. So if you're new here, hello, my name is Charl, and I have been doing 2 years of year-long themes. It's kind of weird, I know, but it's been fun as well. So last year I took you to 12 different fantasy destinations, and this year we are documenting down the findings of that journey. So the creatures, the magical enchantments, all those types of things that we found along the journey of all those 12 different destinations. A lot of them can cross over into different categories. So for example, we've had crowns, and there were a few fantasy novels with that, or worlds that we went to last year that have a focus on, royalty and crowns. So that's how I have been able to make this whole theme work, and the entire journal is set up sort of like a reference novel for each month. So that's what we're working on right now, the cover page for the month. And as you can see now, the theme for June is grimoires. I absolutely love magical books in fantasy novels. I think they're so much fun, especially since there's quite a lot of times where it is the book's magic that can help someone who seems quite shy, quiet, not skilled well enough to become someone more powerful than anyone ever in the storyline imagined. And I think that's a really fun message and a really important message for readers to have. And so, of course, for my favorite month of the year, I decided to do grimoires. So when I started this theme out, I knew exactly which month I wanted this to end up in, and it was the first idea locked and loaded in for the year of 2025. So this page here, if you're new here, is, like I mentioned, the reference part. So I have a chapter title, we have the decorative border, and then we have the reference notes. So in this case, we're writing about what a grimoire is, and then the header and some decoration down the bottom. So I do try to keep this page consistent through each month, and whilst it has remained so, I do feel like this one was slightly a little bit more plainer than others. But I'm not unimpressed with it at the same time. I did have a much bigger goal for June and the way it was presented, and it did not work out. My original idea was to kind of decorate with little books that I created, but looking back on it, I think it's kind of good that I continued with what I've been doing all year long with the decoration style, because I think that would have created a lot of bulk, and in places where I'm going to be writing stuff down, that could get a little bit frustrating. So I just went to my usual place of Pinterest and found some magical looking books for our decoration. I've also got the wonderful collaboration I have with Ebi, and we'll see some of the washes from my recent unboxing video in this setup in use. And then I've also utilized a stamp, and yeah, everything has come along in the usual format, and I guess we should love the consistency of that. The header is a font that has like grimoire in it, I think, from memory. If you've been around long enough now, you'll know that I tend to just type in the theme into dafont.com and then find a font that I like that matches that. And I will have that font link down below. I'll also have the entire playlist so far of 2025 down below of this theme, and there should be some other links down there along with the EB collaboration of what we use in this video. So that is the cover page now done. I'm really happy with the little pop of glitter around the header, and now we can move on to the monthly view. So the header on the front page is much bigger, so it made that font stick out a lot better. Now at this height, or this size I should say, it did get a little bit tedious trying to make it look cohesive as it did in the front page. I do find that I become a bit of a pro at making it work towards the end of the theme, but I do struggle a little bit with trying to get all the letters to look the same, despite tracing it all in. I am a very big believer that if you cannot do it your freehand, there's no shame in using a printer and printing it out and tracing it into your journal, because that's what I do every time. But I think the headers look quite plain, so that's why I went through with the glitter and added a little bit dimension to them. The calendar view has thankfully not had any errors on it. Lately I've been making errors on it and it's been quite frustrating for me, so I'm grateful to see that I did not make any. There was a point, if you were watching closely, I did hesitate, but thankfully I did not draw an extra line in there in the end and counted it out, because I am tired of making mistakes whilst drawing calendars. The right side of the page is left for an upcoming section, and this is where I utilize it for the arcs that I've read and the release dates, as well as books that are coming out over June. I just use a little symbol for each one along the side. You won't see it in this video, but that's how I'm using it when I'm working with it, and it's been quite helpful to have that information in my calendar. Now you can see that I'm working with the wonderful tape set from eBay. This is the Magic Wonder tape, washi tape set. There are 29 rolls in there, and some have foil on them and some don't. And when I was disheartened that my theme didn't come together with the little booklets that I wanted to make, I was thankful that I had this collaboration and this new packet of washi to bring some of that magical feeling of what comes out of a book into the page. I knew when I chose the colours purple, green and blue for this theme that I had done well, because there was quite a lot of rolls of tape with those colours in it, and I just felt like it all just worked out really well. I really love this big one off to the side there that I ripped up a little bit, and have the wonderful fantasy looking woman off to the side there. I think it just really tells a tale without it having to need the little books that I was planning on making. And I'm really glad with the elements of decoration that I managed to put down, both from my Pinterest sleuthing and the washi tape. I didn't go heavy with any decoration of decorative paper. I just left it quite simple this month, mostly because I was hesitant to overdo it, but I think it looks quite well, and when the page is all filled in, it's going to look a lot less bland. At least that's how I'm hoping it will be. I did miss a dot, if you've noticed. I do come back and put that into the calendar as I'm filling it in, but otherwise this page is almost done. There's only one more thing that I need to do, and that is to add a border. Because of the absolute whiteness of the page without any other decoration, I have really relied on adding borders to my journal recently and just adding a bit more pop of color. You can see that I was deliberating it then. So I do add a green one around the upcoming section, and then I add a purple one around the monthly view. And we're ready to have a bit of a close-up and see that washi tape shine, because like I mentioned, some of them are foiled and you couldn't get to see that when the camera is on that view down. It wasn't hitting the washi tape. Moving on to my next two pages, one looks a little bit different than usual, but we'll focus on the left hand side first, and that is my Readathon page. I only needed one page this month for the Clear Your Shit Readathon. It's a mini Readathon. Had this really cool graphic that I traced in, and then you'll now get to see me color it in. And so I decided to use the other side for something that I saw on Instagram, another creator made, and I am completely blanking on who did it. And when I find out who it was, I will credit them in this video. But they do a quotes page, and they put the first line of every book down, but they do it for the whole year. Every month is all on just one page, or however many pages they can, how many books they can fit onto that one page, and then I'm assuming they make another one. I decided that I would just do it for the month of June and see if I liked it, because I just really loved the idea of keeping those quotes there. I also thought maybe if I had some space I could write my favorite quotes at the bottom, but we'll see how that page ends up going. I've only finished 4 books so far, so it's not looking very full at all, and some of the first lines aren't very long, so we'll just have to wait and see how that all comes together. Back to the Clear Your Shit readathon. It's like this little game board for this month, for the readathon, and I really enjoyed it, so I decided that I would add as much decoration to it, make it as bold and bright as possible. I don't share the process of adding in all the prompts in this video because I got quite absorbed into it and didn't realize that my head was quite in the way. As you can see, my flyaways of my hair off into the corner there are already annoying enough. But this is how the actual decoration of the page went, and I will show maybe during the month like how my journal's going throughout the week or something kind of video. I've been really wanting to do one for the longest time, but admittedly I have gotten into the habit of not filling in my journal until like the end of the month, which is kind of weird. I normally used to just do it all the time, but then I started seeing that if I could have the same handwriting for the whole fill in, it would look much more cohesive, and then it doesn't feel like as authentic though by doing it that way. So we'll see how I go. I really wanted to do this video, so hopefully I will do it, and hopefully I can keep my handwriting similar. I am a Gemini through and through, and my mood dictates how my handwriting looks. So sometimes I have it slanted, sometimes I have it upright and large, sometimes I have it capitalized. It's just really annoying being that type of person that has multiple different handwritings. But I'm really happy with how this page ends up looking before I start adding in what prompts I've finished. I actually don't even know if I've finished any while I'm doing this voiceover. It is the 7th of June, and I did have every intention of getting this out before June hit, but life got busy again, and I haven't even tracked what prompts I've completed yet, if I've done any. So that will be fun to check out at some point when I'm not doing a voice narration. So this is where I leave this page mostly. There is some decoration that I want to put down the bottom of the page with some more washi tape from eBay. I really like layering washi tape now. I'm getting into a habit of using it in my everyday journal and testing like layering techniques out. So this time I decided to try and rip just the edge off, just the tiniest bit, but you'll get to see in a moment that I do struggle a little bit once I start sticking it down on the page. So I actually wish I had done this off the page. It becomes quite chaotic in a minute. I still had the roll there, and I've seen so many creators do this while it's stuck down and they just rip the slightest edge off and it looks absolutely amazing. So if anyone knows how to do that so it's aesthetically pleasing to look at whilst you're doing it, please let me know, because I have no skill whatsoever with washi tape, and I found this challenging to do it while it was on the page so much that I have one more row of washi tape to add to these 2 pages here, and I did it off the page. You actually don't even see me rip it, but because the camera died, but I do rip it all off in one roll here. I've got the piece right here and I just take it off the roll and stuck it down that way. So yeah, very thankful that it worked in the end that way, but I would love to have that amazing skill that seems to be possessed by some creators in this community that I am lacking. The quotes page here, there was a bit of an issue with the fact that I did put this header quite high up on the page and it doesn't line up well with the left side, but the reason I did that was because I wanted to utilize as much of this page. So I only add in a little bit more decoration with some of these grimoire books that I found from Pinterest. I add 5 more to the page. I've got 3 here in this corner down here, and then there's 2 up by the header to try and eliminate some of that white space that's really taking over. Obviously, when this page has its information in there, it's going to be better to look at, but for now it is very, very pale, and I was a little bit weary about how it was looking, so that's why I add a little bit more. I was going to leave it at that, and then I grabbed 2 more stickers of pictures to stick in. So I also add in some borders because, like I mentioned, we cannot go without a good border at the moment. I did unfortunately have a little bit of a slip with my pen on this left hand side because of the binding being so thick in the middle now, but I just fixed that quite easily with some correction fluid. Otherwise, this is where I'm leaving it in this section after we've added the metallic to all the headers, because like I mentioned before, I do come back in and fill it all in, but just sticking down those last 2 photos to fill in the gap up the top there and give a bit more interest to the page. And I think that this is going to look really good when it's all filled in. Hopefully it will look even better than I'm imagining. But otherwise, this page is basically done now, and we're going to flip over once we've had a closer look at it in a moment. But here it is with all those prompts on it, and I don't know how I'm going to stick the covers on there. I'll have to think about that, but we're ready to go for the month of June with these 2 pages. Flipping over to the second to last page, and this is my functional hub. This is where I store my TBR, my prompts list for my own TBR game, my arcs list that I need to review this month, and a book haul. And admittedly, I didn't leave myself very much room for books this month. I am hopeful that I don't get a great deal. I know that sounds funny considering I always get books for my birthday, and I do know that I'm being very spoilt for my birthday with something amazing, and so there'll definitely be enough room for those to go on the list, but I just feel like maybe I needed more room, because last year I needed a lot of room, and I was very fortunate for what I got. So I decided maybe it was very intentional to not feel like I didn't get as much this year, to fill that in. Also being very mindful of overconsumption of buying books, because the amount of books that I've had to resale on recently because I've either brought them without reading them and then not liked the book, or just felt like I didn't need the book after all, has been quite a lot. So this year I've really been focusing on trying to either read the book before I buy the book, utilizing the library or my services like Spotify and Audible. And I know that you're buying both of those, but I'm utilizing the service for Spotify for obviously music, and then it's nice to have those extra 15 hours for reading, but trying to do things like that as opposed to buying books has been really helpful to me, and the library's been really good. Yeah, so trying not to buy too many books has been a big plan of mine. I have now gone ahead and stuck down some more washi tape from eBay into the corners and down the bottom. I am really liking the layering effect and the ripping effect, even though it has been quite challenging throughout this video setup. I utilized the remaining pieces of the washi tape from the lady in the photo on the monthly view, and then I ripped some more off, and anything that I didn't end up using I've just stuck into other places in other books, so it always gets used up. I don't really like to waste washi tape, especially stuff as pretty as this, and that is probably why I have such a large collection of them that I've had to go out and buy a second container for them all to be stored in, but it's well worth it when you see it all come together with these lovely decorations. And I'm once again so grateful that eBay have decided to reach out to me earlier in the year and that we can work on this fantasy journal together. And now we're just going to add in the dots for everything. I would really like to have this filled in on camera where you can see what everything is in the page. Like, I have filmed a portion of how I fill in my journal after I've set it up. I think that's only in a reel form though, so if you would like to see me fill in this information after the setup pages, do let me know and I'll make a YouTube video of it. I don't think I can use the reel footage because it's set in a different format, like from landscape to portrait, so we'll have to use different month for that. But here you can see how the month looks and that gorgeous shine from the foil on that washi tape as well. We're on the final page now, and I am so unbelievably happy that I get these larger washi tapes now from EB, because I no longer have to deal with the really ugly bright white header space. I always have struggled when I put down the header and it says reading log on its own on this page, and then I try to put decoration around it so it doesn't look so white. It always looks weird. So I'm really grateful that I can use such an amazing looking washi tape with all the vibes, the colors, everything working for this theme, and that then I can trace out my header onto some sticker paper, fussy cut that out, and then stick it on top. And that is exactly how I'm going to do the rest of the year. If I don't use this format, I will be using my Cricut to make the headers. So yeah, really happy that I can decorate behind it, because I've struggled for the longest time to figure out how to fill in this gap, because obviously this page looks the same every single month. It houses 12 different books in the 12 different boxes, and that does give a lot of decoration to the page, and I don't want to overdo it with decoration, but equally it just looks so bare at the top of the page that this time around it looks so much better. And last month also we did some washi tape at the top of this page, and I'm like convinced that that's how it has to be every single month. So hopefully for the rest of the year that's how it will look up here. It just looks so much better. Onto the boxes now though. We've got spaces set up in pencil for the book covers to go on. I never put that in pen, and then I've just got my 12 numbered parts out. I'm going to use this mild liner here to highlight all the spaces where I'm going to write the titles for each little portion that we're going to write the information in for as I fill in this month's page. So in each box it says author, series, pages, dates, format, and genre in some sort of order like that. And then we also have the 5-star stamp to finish this off, and then this page will be done. So thankfully for the magic of editing, you don't have to sit through me writing that out 12 times, and you do get to see me do this 12 times, because I find it quite therapeutic to look back at, even though sometimes it doesn't stamp correctly, and it's very quick to get back down on the page. So now the reading log is done, and we just have a little bit of tidying up to do before we can go into the final flip through. But while we are wrapping up this video, I just want to say another huge shout out to EB. Thank you so much for the collaboration with these washi tapes and other decoration tools that I'm going to be using very soon. I am so grateful for the opportunity to have them in my toolkit now for working with my journal. And if you haven't checked out EB, the link is in the description below. You can get 30% off if you use my code SHAL at checkout, and I do hope that you'll check them out. So here is the final flip through, and until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading or journaling, and I will see you in my next video, hopefully very, very soon. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.